You didn't come to Mexico City to sightsee. You came to feel it. Right now, standing at the edge of this enormous, breathing, defiant metropolis, you can already sense it. A low hum beneath your feet, as though the city itself has a heartbeat, ancient and electric at once. This is not a place that will wait politely for you to arrive. Mexico City doesn't open its doors. It swallows you whole, and somewhere between the first scent of copal smoke and the last sip of mezcal, you will realize you never want to leave. 24 hours. That's what you have. And I promise you, if you follow every step, pause at every corner I tell you to pause it, taste every single thing I put in front of you, by the time the sun sets over this valley of volcanoes, you will carry something back that no photograph could ever hold. So, take a breath. Let the altitude settle into your lungs. Mexico City sits at 2,240 meters above sea level, and the air is thinner, lighter, almost dizzy with history. The ground beneath your feet has been inhabited for 7 centuries. The Aztecs built Tenochtitlan, Hirayhirong, Alak, on an island, on a dream. And now you are standing in the middle of all of that layered time, and today is entirely yours. Your alarm goes off at 5:45 in the morning and the city is already awake. Mexico City never fully sleeps. It merely lowers its voice, and even now, in the pale dark before dawn, you can hear a bread vendor rolling his cart over uneven cobblestones. The iron wheels scraping a rhythm that sounds like it has been playing for 100 years. Get up. Pull on your jacket. The morning's here. Carry a mountain chill that will surprise you if you're not ready for it, and step outside. The streets of Roma Norte at this hour are something close to sacred. The jacaranda trees lining the sidewalks are still dark against the not yet dawn sky, their branches tangled overhead like the arms of people reaching toward each other across a narrow street. Walk slowly. Let the sound of your own footsteps be the only soundtrack for now. The neighborhood breathes quietly around you. Iron shutters, bougainvillea spilling over terrace walls, a cat moving silently along the top of a garden fence. There is a particular smell to early morning in this city. Concrete, releasing the previous day's warmth into the cool air, mixed with something floral, something earthy, something that belongs entirely to this place and nowhere else on earth. Head toward Parque México. Find the entrance on Avenida Mexico and WLK inside. The park will be dim and still, the great Indian laurel trees casting cathedral shadows across the path. And somewhere in the canopy above you, a bird will begin to sing. First one, then another. Then suddenly the whole park is alive with it. A layered overlapping chorus rising just as the first light touches the tops of the trees. Están still. This is the moment when Mexico City shows you something it doesn't show everyone. Its tenderness. For all its noise and energy and overwhelming scale, this city has a gentle core, and you are standing inside it right now at 6 in the morning, with birdsong falling around you like something you forgot you needed. When the light is shifted enough that you can see the detail on the Art Deco lampposts, it is time to find your coffee. Walk east along Amsterdam, the oval-shaped street that was once a horse racing track. Notice how it curves, how the whole street bends around you like the city is embracing itself, until you reach a corner panaderia. Step inside. The smell will hit you before the door is fully open. Piloncillo cinnamon, anise fresh dough, and the deep dark, serious smell of Mexican coffee brewed in a clay pot. This is Café de Alia, coffee cooked with cinnamon and raw sugar, and the person behind the counter will hand you a clay mug and point to the pan dulce with a gesture that means, take whatever you want, your family now. Pick up a concha, take your coffee outside, and eat slowly. The sugar melts against the warmth of the mug in your hands. The coffee is strong and spiced, and the street in front of you is waking up. You will understand, in this moment, why people who visit Mexico City spend the rest of their lives trying to come back. By 9 o'clock, you need to be moving toward the Centro Histórico. Take the metro, line 1, the pink line, and do not be afraid of it. The Mexico City Metro is one of the great urban experiences on the planet. Fast, cheap, efficient, and packed with the full cross-section of 22 million people. You'll stand shoulder to shoulder with office workers, students, street vendors balancing enormous bags, grandmothers with shopping baskets, Teenagers with headphones in. Watch faces. Notice hands. The man across from you is reading a novel with a broken spine. The woman next to you smells of her morning kitchen, child's an episode, and something frying. This is not a delay in your day. This is your day. Get off at Zocalo station and stop the moment you emerge into the light. Because the Zocalo will do something to you that you did not anticipate. It is one of the largest public squares in the world. And when you step into it, the scale is physical. You feel it in your chest. The cathedral sits at the north end, its Baroque facade blackened by centuries of candle smoke. Its towers tilting slightly because everything in this city sinks. The entire Centro Histórico slowly subsiding into the old lake bed beneath it. There is something poetic about that, something very Mexican. This insistence on building magnificence on uncertain ground. Look at the carved stone saints, their faces worn soft by rain and centuries. This building has been standing since 1573. It has witnessed conquest, revolution, earthquake, flood, and it is still here, still tilting, still ringing its bells on the hour. Walk toward the Palacio Nacional and go inside, because Diego Rivera painted the walls of its staircase with one of the most extraordinary murals in human history. Stand at the bottom and look up. The mural wraps around you, an epic, color-saturated panorama of Mexican history from the ancient world to the present. Figures and symbols and stories layered so densely that you could stand there for hours and still find something new. Find the face of La Malinche, neither villain nor hero, but something far more human than either. Find Rivera himself, stout and watchful, painted into his own history. This is not decoration. This is memory made permanent, made public, made impossible to ignore. Cross the square to the Templo Mayor, the excavated ruins of the great Aztec temple that once stood at the center of Tenochtitlan. The Spanish built their cathedral directly on top of it, deliberately, as an act of conquest. And then in 1978, workers laying electrical cables discovered the ruins beneath the street. Walk the raised wooden walkways over the stones. Lean out and look down at the carved serpent heads, the sacrificial altars. The layered construction phases of a temple, rebuilt 7 times. Below your feet, under the streets of a modern megalopolis, Tenochtitlan is still there. It never left. It is still the foundation of everything. It is noon, and your body is asking for food with an insistence that cannot be negotiated with. Find a taqueria in the centro. Look for the ones with the longest line of locals. The takuro working the trompo with the focused efficiency of a craftsman. Tortillas pressed and cooked to order. You want tacos? Al pastor, the meat pork marinated in dried chiles, archiote, and pineapple is one of the most singular culinary achievements of this city. A dish born from Lebanese immigrants who brought shawarma to Mexico in the early 20th century and watched it transform into something that could only exist here. The taquero slices the meat directly onto your tortilla with one fluid motion and crowns it with a thin disc of pineapple. Add salsa verde, raw white onion, fresh cilantro, and eat it standing at the counter. The fat will run down your wrist. The salsa will make your eyes water slightly. This is Mexico City saying, I know how to take care of you. If this journey is resonating with you, if you're feeling what I'm feeling right now, please take a moment to subscribe to this channel and leave a like. Every click genuinely helps us keep traveling, keep telling these stories, keep finding the corners of the world that deserve to be seen. Now, let's keep moving. Walk west to Alameda Central. Built in 1592 on the site of an Aztec market, and later used for the Inquisition's burnings. History here is never decorative. It is always structural, always underneath everything. Today it is simply a park where families walk in the afternoon. Shade and vendors sell sliced mango with chili and lime. Get a mango. The lime is sharp, the chili blooms slowly on the back of your throat, and the mango is sweet enough to feel like a kindness. On the northern edge of the Alameda, the Museo Mural Diego Rivera holds a single devastating work, 14 meters long and 4 meters tall, containing over 150 historical figures, all gathered as though time has collapsed. Frida Kahlo, Hernan Cortés, a child Rivera holding hands with the Skelito La Catrina. Stand in front of it and let your eyes move through it the way they move through a crowd, catching faces, catching the small human details, the way a woman touches the brim of her hat. Rivera said, It was a dream. It feels like one. Then stand outside the Palacio de Bellas Artes in the late afternoon. At around 4 o'clock, the sun hits the white marble and turns it a color with no precise name in English. Something between cream and gold, and the light inside a candle. And the whole building glows while people sit on its steps with their ordinary afternoon lives. It presides over all of it with the calm grandeur of something that has decided to outlast everything. By 6 in the evening, you need to be in queue. The moment you arrive and the taxi turns down one of the cobblestone streets, you'll feel the city shift into something quieter and more intimate. Coyoacán was a separate village before the city swallowed it, and it has never quite surrendered its village feeling. The central plaza has a fountain with frogs, and the stone benches are full of people eating helado de mamey and watching the light change. The golden hour here is specific and unrepeatable. The low sun turns everything amber. The bougainvillea glows magenta against warm terracotta walls. The cobblestones take on the color of old honey. Walk slowly. Look up at the balconies. Iron railings draped with flowering plants. Windows open to the evening air. The smell of someone's dinner beginning. This is what Mexico City really is. Underneath all its monuments and murals, it is people living, cooking, gathering, carrying on. Walk to the Casa Azul, the blue house, the home where Frida Kahlo was born, lived, suffered, created, and died. Stand outside and look at the cobalt blue walls. That's specific, singing, almost aggressive Lucy chose. And think about what it means to make your whole life into art. To take your pain and your body and your history and turn it into something that outlasts you by a century and is still speaking to people and voices they feel in the chest. The walls are blue in the fading light, and the evening air smells of jasmine and corn tortillas from the taqueria around the corner. For dinner, find a mezcaleria in Roma Norte that opens its iron doors at 8. Sit at the bar. Ask for a mezcal joven from Oaxaca, and tell the bartender to bring whatever the kitchen is proud of tonight. The mezcal will arrive in a small clay copita. Sip it. Do not shoot it. And let it unfold on your tongue, smoky. Yes, but also floral. Also, food comes. Conversation between strangers begins the way it always does when the food is honest and the night is young. By 11, the city is at full velocity. In Mexico City, midnight on a weeknight is what 8 o'clock looks like elsewhere. But you have been awake since before dawn and covered more ground today than most people do in a careful week of tourism. Find a corner where you can see the whole room. Order one more copita. Let the sounds of the city come to you. Laughter from the next table, a car horn from the street, the clatter of a kitchen still in full motion. Look at this room full of people who chose tonight to be here, alive and eating and talking and laughing. Mexico City has been here for 700 years. It has survived conquest, epidemic, earthquake, and flood. And every single night it fills its rooms with people and keeps going. There is something in that refusal to stop that feels like the most important thing you have encountered all day. Close your eyes. Feel the day settle into your body. Your feet that walked cobblestones and subway platforms and museum corridors. Your hands that held clay coffee cups and fresh tortillas. Your lungs that breathed this heel-tattooed air. You are tired in the best way. The way that comes from having been fully present. From having asked the city to show you something real and having received the answer. Mexico City gave you everything today. It showed you its wounds and its beauty, its noise and its tenderness, its extraordinary and indestructible human spirit. And when someone asks you what Mexico City is like, you will find there are no words. The only honest answer is, go. Just go. Somewhere out there, beyond the amber-lit streets of Roma Norte, beyond the dark silhouette of the volcanoes you can't see but know are there. Popocatépetl still breathing smoke into the stars. A city of 22 million souls is moving through the night, and it doesn't need your permission to be magnificent. And it will be here when you come back, and you will come back. The only question is, where in the world should we go next?